Jungkook didn't leave. He sat on the doorstep. Back leaning against the door, she refused to open. The day passed in silence. He didn't call anyone, he didn't eat, he just waited. Every now and then he would close his eyes, the illusion of her standing before him, holding him, loving him, would appear before his eyes, as if that could take away the ache of knowing she was just beyond the store, but he could not touch her. By evening, Wine only heard one sentence. Before it was silence all over again. I'll come back again. The night air was thick with smoke, orange and red flames licked at the sky, consuming everything in their path. The entire port was in chaos, men screaming, gunshots echoing in the night, while Jungkook stood in the center of it all, unshaken. His black coat barely shifted in the wind. His eyes matched flames as the fire raged before him. His men were finishing the job, ensuring that every single one of his enemies who had dared to stand against him would never see another sunrise. A man, one of the last survivors, crawled toward him, blood staining the concrete beneath him. His eyes were wide with horror, his mouth opening and closing like he wanted to beg for mercy. Jungkook didn't blink. He lifted his gun and pulled the trigger. The body slumped forward, lifeless. His grip on the gun tightened as he stared at the flames, the heart burning his skin. But nothing compared to the fire already consuming him from within. His hands, his clothes, everything was soaked in the evidence of his true self. This was who he was. This was the side of him Wine could not love. He turned on his heel, walking away as the fire burned behind him, swallowing the entire port in its hunger. The night had been painted in blood and flames, but none of it could touch the agony in his chest. Because for the first time in his life, Jungkook had lost something his heart couldn't survive without. Jungkook came every day. Without fail, the first time he knocked again, Wine had buried herself under the blankets, pressing hands against her ears, willing herself not to break. He was a monster who killed people. He lied to her. He betrayed her. The second time she sat by the window, watching him through the curtain as he stood outside, hands in pockets, eyes dark with exhaustion. But the fifth time, he had stopped knocking altogether. He didn't ask her to open the door anymore. He just stayed. He never left early. He never gave up. Even as the nights grew colder, he remained. It broke her. It broke him too. More days passed by. He lost the count of them. His body had endured battles, knives, broken bones. But this slow, aching silence, this was the worst of them all. He needed her. He needed her so bad, his patience was running low. Some nights he sat on the doorstep until his limbs were numb from the cold. Some nights he stared at her window, wondering if she was awake, if she was crying, if she missed him even a little. And why? She did. She missed him so much it hurt. She hated herself for it, hated how her heart still ached for him, despite everything. Hated how every time she heard him shift outside, she had to fight the urge to run to him. It was one of those nights when her willpower finally gave up on her. It was past midnight when she finally opened the door. Jungkook was sitting on the steps again. At first, he thought he was imagining it when he heard the door creak open. Wine, come inside. His head snapped up. She was standing there, wrapped up in a sweater too big for her, her face pale, eyes rimmed red. For a long moment, Jungkook didn't move. No, this wasn't the wine he married. The wine he treated with so much love and affection. The wine he made sure never had tears in her eyes. That wine was in this state all because of him. He stood quietly and went inside after her. Wine didn't look at him as she moved to the living room, sitting on the couch. Wine, explain. Jungkook exhaled sharply, running a hand through his hair. His throat felt dry and tight. JK, I didn't plan this either. I never planned on falling in love. Not in this life. Not with the kind of world I live in. JK, but then I met you, and everything changed. I knew from the moment I started loving you that I was being selfish, that I had no right to bring you into my world, but I couldn't stop myself. I looked down at his trembling hands, eyes red with pain and exhaustion, and that brought her so much pain. I was terrified, Brian. Terrified of losing you, of you walking away. If you ever found out, and that fear made me selfish enough to lie, just to keep you close. JK, this is my reality. Ryan, I couldn't change it. I cannot step away from this, but I couldn't exist without you either. I know this doesn't justify my betrayal, but please come back to me. He knelt before her and held her hands. JK, I promise to never lie again. Never hide a thing, even if that results in a scary outcome. I'm sorry. Please give me a chance. Just one chance. Ryan broke down. She couldn't handle seeing him in such pain. The man who always stood with such confidence riding his shoulders, she couldn't see him on his knees and leave him in such a state. Everybody deserved a chance, and so she had decided to go for it. Ryan, your business. Please keep it the way you have been keeping it till now. Away from me. I can't stay away from you, but as long as you promise to keep me away from it, I'm willing to come back to you. A tear slipped his eye as she held her hands against his cheek, kissed them, then kissed her head and pulled her in his embrace so tightly as if she might disappear again, and he'll be left crying for her warmth. Take care, I love you. I'll protect you forever. He kissed her head once again and stayed there until he was sure he had her. It was not just an illusion of his. He was sure after this he was never letting her go. This was the kind of pain he could not tolerate.